Last Saturday night, Mac Andrew broke a hoodoo for the Gold Coast Suns when they stopped this poor interstate record of theirs. So it was big. You saw the relief on Damien Harvick in the coach's box afterwards and what it means potentially for them next year to maybe go on the road and win a bit more consistently. But unfortunately for the Bombers, they've now had the last three shots after the siren for a loss against the side was against them. So it's Mac Andrew. This one was unbelievable from that man, Dan Houston, who's been in the news. That pretty much derailed Essendon's season last year where they were sitting top four. And then this one, who could forget that one from Jamie Elliott? So they've had some heartbreak, the Bombers. So hope their hoodoo can be broken next year.
Alrighty, one of the most celebrated hoodoos was that involving Collingwood, i.e. the Collie Wobbles. The Pies won the flag in 1958 and it took until 1990, what's that, 32 years later, before they finally broke that hoodoo. And in doing so, it was Louis who buried the Collie Wobbles for good.
Deep in the heart of Collingwood, traffic came to a standstill. Hoddle Street was closed and the faithful turned out to farewell the Collie Wobbles. And who better to supervise the funeral than the kiss of death, the man who invented the term.
This will be the happiest funeral of all times. We want everybody laughing and cheering.
The men who'd been there and suffered, Big Ray Gablick, Des Tuddenham, Ray Shaw and Peter Moore joined Bob Rose in burying Mr. Collie Wobble. Into the casket went the news reports of the failures, and then it was buried, fittingly on the half-forward flank in front of the social club with 10,000 fans cheering the interment.
I invented the Collie Wobbles and today I buried them. The Collie Wobbles are 12 feet under and they'll never rise again at Victoria Park.
These are the scenes Collingwood supporters will always cherish. The premiership glory of October the 6th. That silver cup in the right hands after so many near misses. But there were those who were on hand this afternoon just to make sure that the Collie Wobbles were dead and finally buried. Stephen Phillips, National 9 News.
Wow, the late, great Stephen Phillips with that report there. He was one out of the box, Stephen. He was an absolute ripper. And also the late, great Louis Richards.
That was amazing vision. First time I've seen that. It was brilliant. This one goes 56 years, this hoodoo. It was hoodoo. It was Norm Smith being sacked from Melbourne. And this was the 56 years that it took to break that because poor old Norm, he'd taken the D's to 6 flags in 10 years. The last was in 1964 and he was sacked in 1965 and the Demons didn't salute until 2001 in Perth for this famous grand final 21 where they stormed home in the last half. The game was in the balance at half time.
It was. It was 19 points behind in the third quarter.
Oliver at his best, Max Gawn, the skipper, up there. A strange premiership in Perth, but still just as special. What a football team they were in 2021.
Hawthorn and Geelong are one of the great modern rivals, but it was Jeff Kennett who put a curse on the Hawks when he went on offsiders with this.
What they don't have, I don't think, is the quality of some of our players, but they don't have the psychological drive that we have. We've beaten Geelong when it mattered over the last 5 years.
Tomo, as a coach, and you sit back and your president just fires the first shot, how do you feel?
Well, as a coach, you say, no problems, and he's got no dramas. But as soon as I walked into the room with the president, I'd probably grab him by the throat and say, what in the hell do you think you're doing?
So then 11 games went by and Geelong just won game after game, and they were big games as well. And they were all close, and the Cats just continued to get the job done, and the Kennett curse became something that the media grabbed a hold of, and it was written in the papers. You see Jeff leaving early there, then the tomahawk after the siren puts them 2 points up, and it wasn't until many, many years later and 11 games when Burgoyne in the 2013 prelim was able to salute and put them away here. And that was the first time. 11 wins, Llordo, for the Cats over the Hawks, and it was the Kennett curse.
Yeah, it was a big moment in footy, wasn't it, when that happened. Now, this is a hoodoo of a different type. Lewis Jetta took 15 matches and 19 attempts, or 20 attempts actually, before he kicked a goal. 19 behinds were registered by that man who was an explosive player, a premiership player for the Sydney Swans, and then he went and played for West Coast as well. But 19 cracks at a goal, Kane, before the first one went through in game number 15 way back in 2010.
Amazing. Oh, he thought he had that one too.
Geez, he was good to watch, wasn't he? He was so good to watch.
Terrific stuff. Some not so terrific hoodoos there, but hoodoos are meant to be broken, and some of those certainly have, if not all of them. Good stuff, Llordo, again.